Hello, I'm Susan Woods of Susan Woods Nonprofit Consulting Services with a very short video message to explain why Jose Ruiz started a nonprofit to help immigrants. Hello, once again, I'm Susan Woods. I started a 501c3 nonprofit organization in 2003 called Comprehensive Community-Based Solutions Incorporated. I operated the nonprofit organization for 10 years. For 5 years, I operated a program called Panorama Computer Learning for displaced manufacturing workers who needed to learn computer skills in order to get back in the job market. For the next 5 years, I operated a program called the Emerging Leaders Mentorship Program for Black Male Youth, in which we provided mentorship services for black male youth in the communities that we served. Since my nonprofit organization stopped providing programs in 2013, I have been providing consulting services. I complete the 501c3 application packet for private clients. I facilitate a broad range of classes for nonprofit leaders, which includes in-person classes as well as classes via a webinar. I also record DVD classes that I upload to my YouTube channel, and you can also purchase them individually. I've earned nonprofit certifications. I've earned a certificate of nonprofit management from Duke University, which was this year, Winthrop University in 2016, and a certificate of nonprofit management from Wake Forest University in 2015. I believe it is very important for nonprofit consultants to always stay abreast of the changes in the nonprofit sector by completing different classes. My educational credentials include a bachelor's degree in business education, a master of arts degree in business education, and a master of business administration degree, all from Winthrop University in Rock Hill, South Carolina. You can learn more about my services by visiting www.hiresusanwoods.com or can call me directly at 704-968-2769. Let's talk more about Jose Ruiz before we learn why he started a nonprofit to help immigrants. Jose is from Mexico originally. He came to the United States, worked his way up to the police department, and he retired as a police officer after 35 years. He's a part-time volunteer in his community. As a matter of fact, he's a community leader. His wife is employed as a nurse. He has 2 adult sons in college. He enjoys hobbies such as riding bikes. He has a wonderful set of friends and family members, and he really enjoys helping immigrant workers. That's his focal area because he knows what it feels like to be an immigrant from Mexico and working in the fields. So that's his primary concern, because when he was in that position, he knows firsthand the types of atrocities sometimes they face as immigrant workers. So he, in his retirement, has decided that he wants to do something to help immigrant workers who are still being mistreated. So what does it take for someone like Jose or anybody else who wants to start a 501c3 nonprofit organization? What compels them to want to do something about it? Let's learn. Why Jose Ruiz started a 501c3 nonprofit organization to help immigrant workers make the transition to America. Once again, Jose was one of the workers. When he came to America, he did not have the skills that he ultimately earned to secure a position as a police officer. He was an immigrant worker. He worked in the fields, picking different types of produce every day, day in and day out, for long, long hours. So he saw firsthand how people were treated, including himself, of course. They were taken advantage of. They were not paid fairly. They worked in different types of climates without any type of accommodation that was properly prepared for them. They went through a lot just to try to make ends meet, and they provided an extremely valuable service to their employers and to the community and to all of us in general. But in Jose's opinion, they were not treated fairly, and he was not treated fairly. But they did what was required in order to survive. He never forgot his past. Regardless of the success that he enjoys now with his wife and two sons living in a very nice community doing community services, he never forgot how it felt to be an immigrant worker. So now that he is retired, he wants to do something about it. What steps or what things transpired in his life, in his thinking, that caused him to want to take that step, that official step, to operating a nonprofit organization? Let's learn. So again, what does it take for a person like Jose Ruiz to feel so compelled to want to start an official 501c3 nonprofit organization to address a problem that he's seen? Well, the first thing, observe. A person has to observe a situation or a problem in their community that they want to solve. Jose has observed immigrant workers being mistreated. He has observed them being forced to work in conditions that are not fair and that are not suitable for them to work in. He has developed a high level of empathy for immigrant workers because he was an immigrant worker himself. When he came from Mexico over 30 years ago, that was his first job until he acquired the skills required to become a police officer. But that took years. So he has years and years of experience to remember that helps him to demonstrate empathy for the people who are still enduring what he endured. Nevertheless, Jose knew or understood that it was important for him to complete a needs analysis before starting a nonprofit organization, because a needs analysis proves that there is a problem. A needs analysis proves that what you are observing as being wrong is in fact wrong, not only based on your opinion, but based on the opinion of people in the community, based on the opinions of the immigrant workers themselves, based on the research that you have conducted about immigrant workers. You have to do your homework. You have to say there is a problem. You can't just base starting a nonprofit organization on what you feel, on what you see. You have to prove to the IRS through your application packet that there is a problem. So Jose conducted a needs analysis, and he proved that there is a problem in the way immigrant workers are treated. Then the next thing he had to determine was whether or not his idea to solve the problem was considered one of the purposes of the IRS. The IRS has 8 criteria that it calls purposes that it considers as viable options for 501c3 status. There are 8. The top 3 purposes that the IRS considers as viable options for a 501c3 are things like charitable services, religious services, and educational services. Those are the top 3. Now, Jose's idea is to create a formal learning opportunity for immigrant workers to learn their basic human rights as citizens in the United States of America. Regardless to if they're illegal or not, they are human beings who deserve to be treated with dignity and respect. And Jose wants to start a program that teaches them their basic human rights as immigrant workers. For example, working conditions, what they should be, How many hours a day should they work? Or what type of payment system should they expect? Things like that. He wants to also talk with them about the legal system and address their fears of being deported. He wants to have a formal educational opportunity for immigrant workers. But not only that, he wants to provide a service that not only teaches them their rights, but also provides an environment where they can grow and learn each other, network with each other, and spread the knowledge along the lines of helping other people in the community as well who are immigrant workers. He wants it to be a fun, engaging experience for them also. So Jose's idea falls into two categories: charitable and educational. So his idea meets two of the purposes for 501c3 status. So the next thing he did, he completed the 501c3 application, or the 501c3 nonprofit application, to be considered for 501c3 status. The application packet includes the Form 1023 application for recognition of exemption, and it also requires 9 attachments to go along with that application. So you have the Form 1023 application for recognition of exemption. Attached to that, you will have to send in articles of incorporation, bylaws, narrative description of activities, conflict of interest policy, fundraising activities explanation, financial data checklist. I'm sorry, not financial data checklist, but a checklist for application, a cover letter, and your EIN letter. 9 attachments that belong or that are included in the application packet makes a full application packet along with the application, the Form 1023. So that's what Jose Ruiz hired me, Susan Woods, to do for him, to complete the application packet for him from beginning to end. First thing I asked Jose to do was to schedule a free 1-hour phone consultation, and that's a requirement for all of my clients. I want to talk to you. I want you to explain to me over the phone your vision. Tell me about the programs. Tell me about the problem that you want to solve in your community. And that's what he did. And we talked about it, and I explained to him how my services work. I charge $1,000 to complete an application packet from beginning to end. I request $500 up front as a security deposit. Once the security deposit has been processed, then I send you a list, what I call a timeline, that shows you exactly which documents I'm completing for you and which dates they will be completed and the dates in which your feedback is required. I ask for a 15 business day turnaround time to have your application completed from beginning to end. However, that is contingent upon you responding to my questions in a timely manner, you providing feedback in a timely manner. But if you respond to questions and you provide feedback in a timely manner, your application packet, the Form 1023 application for recognition of exemption, plus the 9 attachments, can be completed in 15 business days. Once you are satisfied with the application packet that I've been sending to you back and forth over the 15 business days, once you are happy with it, then I will ask you to process the remaining $500. Once you've done that, I will compile your application packet in the order that's required by the IRS and send the application packet to you for you to mail to the IRS. Included in that mailing is an envelope that would already be addressed to the location where you should mail it. So all you have to do is remove your application packet information from the envelope in which it comes, sign your name on the documents that I would have already flagged, include the processing fee that the IRS charges, place all of those materials in the envelope that's already addressed to the IRS, and mail it. That's the way I work. Another thing that I do for my clients is I complete the state level applications, because the Secretary of State's office in the state in which you plan to operate requires that you complete 3 applications: the application to file the articles of incorporation, the application to earn a license to solicit donations in the state in which you're going to operate, and a license to register your name, your nonprofit name. So I complete those 3 applications for you. I send the applications completed to you in the mail for you to sign and for you to attach the processing fee for those 3 applications for the Secretary of State's office, because you have to be approved to work on the Secretary's. You have to be approved on the state level by the Secretary of State's office in order to get your determination letter from the IRS. The determination letter is a letter that says you have been approved to operate as a 501c3 nonprofit organization. So that's the way that I work. If you would like to start a 501c3 nonprofit organization in the United States of America, regardless of what state, please call me at 704-968-2769. That's 704-968-2769, so that we can set up a free consultation for us to talk about your vision, about your programs. Because one thing that I do, if I don't believe an organization is going to be approved for 501c3 status, then I don't accept you as a client. If your vision and if your program does not meet the guidelines that the IRS requires, I do not accept your business. So in other words, I only accept clients who I have a very, very strong belief that their idea would be approved for 501c3 status. I'm Susan Woods of Susan Woods Nonprofit Consulting Services. To learn more about my services, please visit www.hiresusanwoods.com or just give me a call at 704-968-2769. Thank you and have a good day.